here under these circumstances and all, but I do want to talk about Rusty. The song that I just sang for you, Kind Woman, was actually the song that got Rusty Young to California. I had been in a band earlier called Buffalo Springfield with, of course, with Neil Young, of course, Stephen Stills, of course, Bruce Palmer, okay, of course, and Dewey Martin. But anyway, when that band broke up, the last bass, there were 9 people in and out of Buffalo Springfield in 2 years. And Jimmy Messina was the last bass player in Buffalo Springfield, and Jimmy and I really struck up a very close friendship, and we had an idea to put a band together that maybe would cross country music and rock and roll music. That was what our desire was. That's what our idea was. And one of the songs on the very last Buffalo Springfield record was a song that I just sang for you called Kind Woman. And we said, we gotta have a steel guitar player on this song. And a road manager of ours, Miles Thomas, said, I know the best steel guitar player in the world. And he'll come out here and play your song. Sight unseen, hadn't heard a lick he could play. We brought Rusty out, and interestingly enough, his guitar got lost on the way out to California. So he was playing a completely new instrument, and I'm not even sure it was set up the way that Rusty would have set up his instrument. But when Jimmy and I heard Rusty play the guitar part, the steel guitar part on Kind Woman, we both looked at each other and we didn't have to say a word. We said, we have to get this guy, each one of us, without saying a word, we have to get this guy in our band. And so that's how Rusty got out to Los Angeles to actually start his very, very, very successful career. And what a dear and special friend. I'm telling you, there is no one that I can think of, and I know there's a lot of steel guitar players here, and I don't mean to offend any, but Rusty Young was probably one of the greatest innovators on that instrument that ever lived. Tremendous, tremendous. He can play any style on the instrument. And so from there we asked Rusty, we were talking about the band, and he knew a drummer back here that he played with in a group called Benzie Creek. Yeah? And so we got George Grantham to come out, and then we started auditioning bass players, and we auditioned Randy Meisner and Timothy B. Schmidt. Both of them in the Eagles. We actually auditioned them on the same day. Anyway, the rest of it is history. Rusty kept the band name together for 50 years. After some of us would come and go and come and go, Rusty had the fortitude. And you know what? When we look back on some of those things, I feel like, some of the Poco fans were disappointed when some of us left the band. But when you look at things, I believe that all things work together to good, in some way or another. And I really believe that it gave Rusty an opportunity to not only be the fantastic musician that he was, but he turned into a wonderful songwriter. And he wrote some really beautiful songs that are on the Poco records. And I'm telling you, he was just a great friend. And I'm just humbled to be here today at this award celebration, the Rusty Young Inspirational Award celebration today, because we're going to celebrate what Rusty did, the influence that he had on so many people. I can't tell you how many people that I've played with over the years that actually have sat down with steel guitars. I got one more story I have to tell you. But they say that Rusty Young was their influence. If it was not for Rusty Young, they wouldn't have played the steel guitar. There's a steel guitar player in Nashville, Tennessee. His name's Dan Dugmore. And over the years, I wanted to re-record the song I just played for you, Kind Woman. And in the Poco version and in the Buffalo Springfield version of Kind Woman, there's some odd measures, and you really got to do a little dance to find the one, And so I wanted to put it in time. And when we recorded that song, when it came time to put a solo on it, Dan Dugmore, who is definitely one of the most sought-after steel guitar players in Nashville, he sat down and his hands were shaking like this, saying, I have to play a solo after that solo that got me started on the steel guitar. And he played a mighty fine one, but you know, that's just the kind of influence that Rusty Young has had over the years. Tremendous influence on, I mean, I look at that instrument back there, and it's like, how in the world does anyone ever learn to play that thing? You know, I mean, not only with all the strings on it, but there's all kinds of pedals up there, and then there's a knee pedal too, you know? And it's like, oh my goodness, I got 6 strings on a guitar and I can't play it. But anyway, we're going to get along with the award ceremony now, and I'm going to ask Tony Ortega to come on up.
All right.